Friday the 17th of January, 2025. First reading from the book of Hebrews. Brothers and sisters, while the promise of entering his rest still stands, let us fear lest any of you should seem to have failed to reach it. For good news came to us just as to them. But the message they heard did not benefit them, because they were not united by faith with those who listened. For we who have believed enter that rest, as he has said, as I swore in my wrath. They shall not enter my rest, although his works were finished from the foundation of the world. For he has somewhere spoken of the seventh day in this way, and God rested on the seventh day from all his works. And again in this passage he said, they shall not enter my rest. Let us therefore strive to enter that rest, so that no one may fall by this sort of disobedience. Responsorial Psalm. Never forget the deeds of the Lord, the things we have heard and understood, the things our fathers have told us. We will tell them to the next generation, the glories of the Lord and his might. Never forget the deeds of the Lord. They should arise and declare it to their children, that they should set their hope in God and never forget God's deeds, but keep every one of his commands. Never forget the deeds of the Lord, so that they might not be like their fathers, a defiant and rebellious generation, a generation whose heart was fickle, whose spirit was not faithful to God. Never forget the deeds of the Lord. Gospel acclamation. Alleluia, alleluia. A great prophet has arisen among us, alleluia. Gospel. Reading from the book of Mark. When Jesus returned to Capernaum after some days, it was reported that he was at home, and many were gathered together, so that there was no more room, not even at the door. And he was preaching the word to them. And they came, bringing to him a paralyzed man carried by 4 men. And when they could not get near because of the crowd, they removed the roof above him. And when they had made an opening, they let down the bed on which the paralyzed man lay. And when Jesus saw their faith, he said to the paralyzed man, Son, your sins are forgiven. Now some of the scribes were sitting there, questioning in their hearts, Why does this man speak like that? He is blaspheming. Who can forgive sins but God alone? And immediately Jesus, perceiving in his spirit that they thus questioned within themselves, said to them, Why do you question these things in your hearts? Which is easier, to say to the paralyzed man, Your sins are forgiven, or to say, Rise, take up your bed and walk? But that you may know that the Son of Man has authority on earth to forgive sins. He said to the paralyzed man, I say to you, rise, pick up your bed, and go home. And he rose and immediately picked up his bed and went out before them all, so that they were all amazed and glorified God, saying, We never saw anything like this. Gospel of the Lord.